Hello, Internet, and welcome to Red Jenny. We're here to play some Dragon Age TTRPG, and we are very excited to have you with us. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Monday evening. We're going to get started with our game as usual because a lot of exciting things happened last time, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we get going, though, talk about our schedule for this week. Our next regularly scheduled stream is Tuesdays. The Tuesday crew does a bunch of different games, but this week, I believe it's still up in the air whether they're going to be playing, missing a player for the next few weeks. So, if you join our Discord, you can stay up to date. We'll probably be giving out those announcements. We'll be pretty late in the day, whether they are going to be playing or not. So just keep an eye on that if you join. And good reason to join our Discord to keep up to date with our schedule when it is in flux, because it's summertime or it's getting close to summertime. People are traveling, doing shit, and things get busy. So if you want more concrete plans for the rest of our week, you want to join us for what will probably be our next regularly scheduled show. We'll be on Thursday for Elegance and Vigilance. Sid runs that. I'll let Sid talk more about it. We play some D&D and Good Society. So I don't think we really have much else going on in the way of new things, just kind of business as usual. If you want to see our full lineup of shows below our faces, if you're watching us live on Twitch, you can see everything we've got going on right now, the different systems we run, the games that we play. And one more time, I'll plug, just join our Discord. Just click the button. There's lots of good stuff going on there. Join our community, and we talk about weird stuff. So
we're talking about Dracula daily right now.
Yes. Yeah. You never know we're talking, and by next week it'll be something entirely different. It's usually either whatever game came out this week or whatever weird internet craze is going on right now, or something.
Whatever government official we need to kill.
Yeah, that sort of stuff too. We do have a.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
My NSA agent knows
Just
I'm
kidding.
Parody. It's parody.
Yeah, it is parody.
My
As
NSA
long as you
agent
say
knows what I'm about.
JK at the end, it's parody.
Respect to you,
all right.
Steve. I love you.
I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my lovely players here to talk about who they are, what they do on and off this channel, and who they are playing tonight, starting with Van.
That's me. Hi, I'm Van. You can find me on the internet at Savvy Seaworth, pretty much wherever you can find people on the internet. I don't post that much lately because social media makes me tired and I have a full-time job now. And also, I do this a lot. So just come hang out in the Discord with me. You can find me streaming on the internet several times a week, Sunday nights on twitch.tv/lbhackemup. We'll be back next week for Dungeons & Dragons to play Things of the Gods at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And then here on this channel, Thursdays through Mondays, playing in several games and also running Dungeons & Dragons on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're in the middle of The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And it's going to be great. The whole gang's back together next week, and I'm very excited. But tonight, I am playing Venehn, who is an elven marksman, the one right now with the most legs showing of the party.
Jams from here to Yaya.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that long, but they're nice.
But they're nice. I'm next. Hey, I'm She Sid. You can find me all over the internet at Greek Sid, except on IG, which I'm probably just gonna just get changed. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll have to care enough to do it. You can find me here Thursdays through Mondays, playing games mostly, except for Thursdays, as mentioned. Thursdays I run our game of Elegance and Vigilance at 7 o'clock Eastern. It's a good society with just some D&D just smushed in, and it's fabulous. It's Regency superheroes. Please come check it out. We're at a bowl. We just had a elementary school play, and yeah.
Ours was at least 8th grade.
That was at least
least.
7th, 8th grade
At
play.
least.
It was.
There was, yes. It was
And
more
also, we
refined.
cheated.
And you cheated like fucking hell. It was great. But yeah.
Expect any
come
less
check
of
that
us?
out.
No.
At the very least, come see Zeke be really uncomfortable dancing with the Duchess, which is very entertaining right now. So, yeah, check that out. Tonight I am playing Yasmera. Yaz is our Kunari shadow, and I think because you all made her choose, has the most cleavage showing in the party right now. I believe it was ankles or titties, and she chose titties. So yeah, that's what's up.
Sup, y'all? It's me, Wally. Your non-binary sign best friend on the internet. You can find me at WALLE132. That's like the cute little Disney robot where I talk about all the stuff that I'm in and my various things on my brain. You can find me on this channel as an exclusive every Thursday through Mondays, playing in the wonderful games everyone's already talked about. And also, guess what, y'all? I'm going to be guest spotting on another show pretty soon. You can catch me playing Poncho on the Atom List very soon, so check that out. For the season 2 premiere. Yes, the season 2 premiere of the Atom List is starting soon, and I am the first guest on the show, so come check that out. I am playing Poncho. That's all I'll because the art is already up. I'm playing Poncho, a tiny cute little kangaroo mouse cowboy. So yeah, come check that out. It's honestly the most adorable character I've ever played, and I'm very excited for you guys to meet him. But tonight I am playing Garas, the elven duelist, who is the gaudiest looking of the party. Yeah, definitely the gaudiest. Yeah. I'm blinged out. I'm straight up blinged out.
All right, that brings it around to me. Hi, y'all. I'm Sita. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jean. Hi, C's mom. We love you.
I won't call them out by name, but I've also got a special hello to somebody who I think is in the chat, and if you are, you know who you are. And
is it President Joe Biden?
You have to legally.
Is Dark Brandon here? Is Dark Brandon here in the studio tonight?
It's the opposite of Joe Biden. I think is this person. But we're not calling anybody out, other than more than I already have. You can find me.
Trying to think of the exact opposite of Joe Biden.
You can find me on the internets at Mr. Wilt, although, as many other people here have said, social media is getting kind of tiring. God, you guys are thinking really hard about this. We'll talk about it on a break. If you want to find me, the best way to find me is going to be in the many times aforementioned now Discord, but best time to find me is in the chats of many of the games that these people play around here, trying to distract the players and DMs from what they're doing. And I gotta say, on that note, I feel like recently you guys are getting wise to my tricks. I feel accomplished these days if I make somebody look over at their other screen and smile a little bit, because I know that was me. You can find me here every Monday playing this wonderful game with these wonderful people, and you can find me on every other Tuesday playing Escape Velocity. As I said, we're down somebody. We'll get back. It's a lot of fun. You guys should check it out. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Andros Philippe Bastille de Cartier, also known as Carter, the human arcane warrior. And it's about to get nasty, because he's the most arcane warrior-isty and dueling. Also, he's now Tipple to Vander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still shook on the opposite of Joe Biden thing. I'm trying to figure that out.
I am still 100% thinking
I'm
about
just
it.
like a young,
Okay, it has to be a young,
competent
queer woman of color.
Wow, fucking throw punches at the president.
Look, he knows he signed up for what he did.
He knows what he
knows
did.
what he did. He knows what he did.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
What he did is nothing. Zero things.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Val. You can find me at the Kraken's Crown, lurking around the internet.
Cancel student debt. What? Sorry.
I'm here Thursdays through Mondays. This game got so political so quickly. It
It is Dragon Age.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I'm here Thursdays through Mondays playing running games. Other than this game, I run a game on Saturdays called War 47 where we play Parslings. If I get interrupted too many times, this whole thing falls apart.
Fucking go off, sweetie.
Otherwise, I am on other shows, most of the other shows in between on this channel, including a lot of the ones that were mentioned. That's pretty much it. I feel like I just need to start the stream over so I can think about all the stuff that y'all have made me think about.
You
for
can't.
the
I
last-
press the buttons.
Okay, yeah. Are you all ready to get started? All right.
Yes.
Previously on Red Jenny, your gang, the friends of Red Jenny, arrived in Minrathous, the capital of the Deventure Imperium, with the hopes of waiting out a couple of days to continue your trek, your journey to smuggle a bunch of lyrium explosives to the front lines of the war, of the current war against the Blight. And the Darkspawn in Hossberg. You, as I said, have a few days to kill. And upon arriving in the city, wouldn't you know it, there's some pretty big goings on happening, including the biggest event being the Archon's Tourney, a magical dueling competition where the magically inclined of the Deventure Imperium compete to prove themselves as the best mage in the country. You, of course, saw this as a grand opportunity for you, given the prize of 20,000 silver pieces that was on the line, and decided, hey, why don't we throw our hats in the ring, specifically one hat, Carter's, and set out making preparations for Weasley.
I do not understand. The hat is on my head. I was under the impression I would be wearing the hat into the duel. What is the purpose of throwing the hat?
Well, that will be our first line that we'll come into as we get started here. But the with Carter being sufficiently confused about the motivations of the group, you set your sights on trying to prepare yourselves for this event, mostly through forgery and stealing. You broke into a house to steal some Tevinter fashion, and spent a few hours kind of, I think, where we left off last time. Y'all gotten about halfway through the process of forging these documents, planning on doing the rest later, as you had some fun things to do in the city. Wanted to spend your night in Minrathous attending a show, going to see the Incantatrix at the... Oh, I just forgot the name of the place. Hold on. It was... the Pallas Arthemia, a burlesque theater in the Vivatsi Plaza. You attended the show for the evening, dressed to the nines and excited to get a little bit of time off. As the show was starting, Yaz noticed some suspicious faces, and for absolutely no reason, decided that these people were worth investigating and devoting time to.
They were staring at us and then acknowledged it and cheers us with a smug grin. I'm
It's
after
always
those motherfuckers.
funny.
I don't care.
It's always funny to me when you say stuff like that, as if we are responsible for you specifically having us roll and then drawing our attention to things.
No.
For some reason.
For some reason, you became a little suspicious of this group, given their reaction to you, seeming like had some familiarity with your team. I'm just giving y'all shit. Obviously, I put them there to get your attention. You enjoyed the performance. Carter, especially, being bewitched by the Incantatrix's haunting melody, as it was a familiar song to him. And as the show ended, Carter peeled off from the group, going to meet the Incantatrix, while I believe Venehn found a note that had been tucked into a bottle of champagne in your booth, and
For some reason.
And identifying, I actually forgot what the note had even said.
Something like "Good luck tomorrow."
Yeah, it
Good
was like
luck
good
very
luck
big.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't write that down. Immediately being suspicious of this, you
I
all
just remember
split
they
off.
didn't sign it.
No, Yaz and Venn heading out of the venue following this group as they split up. Yaz following two of them, Venn following the others, leaving Garas and Carter behind. Carter had a brief meeting with the Incantatrix, where you sort of connected in that moment, expressing that your asking for the name of the song, and then her leaving you with a bit of wisdom about love and loss and the beauty of it all. And Carter, having been sort of emotionally impacted by that, went with Garas, trailing out of the theater to try to catch up with Venn and Yaz, who were nowhere to be found. Venn followed his quarry down the streets of Benrathis and lost sight of the female companion of this duo, only to find her tuck her arm into his, and they began to speak for a bit in sort of vague terms. She gave her name as Brila. Venn did not give their name. And after this short exchange, said that you would see each other tomorrow. And she went off to meet with her companion. Venn did notice, through a good perception check, that she appeared to have some discoloration on her skin, as if there were maybe some markings or tattoos that were being hidden by makeup, and perhaps she might also be Dalish. Venn, going back to reconvene with the others, Yaz went further into the city, found that her quarry was actually heading into the gardens, a sort of a rich, like, upper crust guarded district of Minrathis
That we had robbed only hours before.
Yeah. Snuck her way inside and followed this duo to a house that they walked inside of without any resistance. And Yaz, catching something on the wind, went behind the property and found in a pond or out back 2 bodies that were weighed down with stones. And as she went to leave, the other 2 that Venn had been following arrived and entered the house, and you could hear some muffled conversation inside. So that's where we're picking up here today. I believe, I know Garas and Carter were still together. I don't remember if we actually had Venn connect with them again, because Garas and Carter were heading back to, y'all were going to head back to the tavern, the inn that y'all are staying
I was
in.
gonna try to trail Yasmera.
All right, there's no way you know where Yaz is at this point. She's all the way across the city.
Then I go back to the tavern.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any way for you to find. I cannot justify a way for you to find her unless you have some magic bullshit that you can use.
I mean, I'm trained in tracking.
The magic of friendship.
I don't know if she would have left tracks for you. I don't think
Well,
so.
I don't think tracking is just footprints.
Yeah, even like she is like a quarter mile away from you at this point.
But perhaps I can sniff out the particular scent of perfume Yaz likes to wear when she's dressed up. Or
Okay,
perhaps
all
I
right,
can just fucking
all right.
get up on a rooftop and look for the 7-foot tall woman with a giant hat.
It is a big city. I will give you a
I
perception.
just want to
scene.
try. I will understand completely if I fail.
I'm gonna
I
set this
just
at
want
a.
to try.
I'm gonna set the difficulty for this at a 21.
Okay. In theory, I think I can roll that.
I believe in you.
I just want the opportunity to try.
Come on, triple
I will
sixes.
accept. I rolled good. I can't fucking do math. Where's my tracking? Okay. 15 on the dice.
Okay.
+4 per perception. +2 for focus. 21. Is 21, motherfucker.
Got him. Got him.
Well, Yaz, what are you doing right now? Are you heading back? You were leaving? You were heading back?
Yeah,
I'm good
she
at,
had-
like,
I
two
think we ended.
things.
She had snuck back out and was probably at this point gonna head back to the tavern.
All right. Across this metropolis, the biggest city
I
you
know
have
what
ever
my
been
friends
in.
look like.
The
She's a fucking
biggest city you
Kunari in
have
the middle of Minrathis.
ever been in. Again, this is like New York City size, like big. You climb onto a fucking rooftop.
Perhaps
and
like Spider-Man.
like Spider-Man
Like
in a
Legolas.
dress.
What do my elf eyes see?
Yeah, and as you're standing up there in the night, the moon, which has been shrouded behind clouds for a moment, parts in the light illuminating, and you can see the massive, your eye is drawn to that stone colossus that stands in the middle of the gardens. You can see the walls as they surround, and luckily for you, the gardens stand at a slightly higher altitude, and you
Not
can
luckily
just
for me. This is
you
great
can-
skill.
you can just barely
This is a
make
great
out
skill. I've done this.
sneaking through the gates back out of the gardens, a very tiny, like an ant moving against the stone, and for whatever reason you're like, that's Yaz.
Boy, I love the passive aggressive description that you're giving. I mean, it's beautiful too at the same time.
You can be as fucking angry as you want at my success. But you can't make it not happen.
No, I can't.
I'm gonna... So taking my shoes off, right? Just hop across a few rooftops. Just kind of trying to watch, like, what path... I think I can sort of map out from up here, like, the path that Yaz would take.
Yeah,
So I'll
you're-
wait. I'll wait until she goes past me, and then I drop down behind her and go, boo!
You have a dagger drawn on you immediately.
Hello.
God damn it, don't do that.
I found you from so far away. I'm getting really good at this. I'm trying to practice my tracking within like cities and stuff because I'm really good at it outside. Tracking people on like stone is much harder.
There are 2 dead bodies in a pond in the gardens.
So, sorry? You said there are 2 dead bodies.
They've taken over a house in the quarter.
I'm sorry. Your speaking box is extremely quiet for some reason.
They've taken over a house in the quarter, it would seem, by, I would imagine, murdering the actual occupants.
Holy shit, dude.
Do you think maybe we could get some of our god contacts on this?
Maybe. I mean, do you know whose house it was? There's no way we would know whose house it was, right?
No, but she did draw the sigil that was on the house.
Yes, you did.
Whoever the fuck that is.
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, what good's going to come of reporting them? They're going to
Having
do what?
them arrested so they can't compete with us tomorrow?
And you don't think they're going to hear city guard coming from a mile away like we would?
If they're good, then they will be very quick about body disposal, and there you are. If they're not, one less thing to worry about tomorrow.
Or they'll know we did it and just be pissed. That's kind of fun, though. Yeah,
Makes
okay.
it more of a challenge.
How do you want to do this?
Garas made friends with a couple of those locals.
Oh, that's right. I was just going to suggest I put on a hood and play very young.
It's also possible.
We could do.
Let's get the others. See what they.
Yeah. We could do both. I'm so glad I found you.
Tell no one. I have a reputation to maintain.
I wouldn't dare.
Good. Turns, starts heading toward the town.
But now you know that if you're ever alone, I can always find you. I meant that to sound comforting, but it didn't.
That sounded terrifying and slightly creepy.
I meant it to be comforting.
How
How about wherever you are, I'll always be watching your 6. Are clocks a thing? Now, yes, we have clocks, right?
We do have clocks, yes.
Always be watching your 6.
I mean, you're always looking at my ass.
That's not what that would be the opposite. I'd be doing a
Right.
really bad job.
They make their way back to the tavern.
Only
So,
sometimes.
Carter
Only when you
Garrus,
know I'm doing it.
Carter Garrus, you're the first ones back to the Misty Heart. And Venehn and Yaz aren't there, but I assume you might wait for a bit before you go scouring the city for them. Given the length of the show, and by the time Yaz and Ven get back, it's probably pushing midnight. And the registration for the event is going to be at dawn.
I thought we'd finished the forgery, but we still needed to go register.
You had so
Because I roll real good.
you did roll really good.
Oh yeah, because
and-
we were like editing the.
Well, I told you it was going to take pretty much the rest of your evening to do the forgery, because of the extensive background you wanted to create for Carter's assumed
I
identity.
mean, that's okay. Carter's the one that needs to
And
sleep.
y'all wanted to take a little break from that to go see a show. So there will probably, whoever is finishing that will probably need another hour or two to do that, if you want to get a good night's sleep.
Well, we don't all have to be there right at the registration. I mean, don't
Carter, go to sleep.
finish it and then catch a
Yeah,
couple
Carter,
extra
you need
hours
to
of
go to sleep.
and
You
then
need your
catch up.
strength. You need your strength, Carter. You need to go to bed.
I
Oh,
will
hi, we're
leave the
back.
rest to you. Good evening, my friends.
So what happened? What happened when you guys ran off? What did you guys find?
We were
Two dead
following that.
bodies in a pond.
Yeah, we were following that group, and they've infiltrated the garden somehow. And it looks like, I guess, from what Yaz saw, that they killed the owners of one of the houses, and now they're there.
Oh, that's hardcore.
They killed somebody.
Well, that's very hardcore, but oof, boy. So what should we do about it? I mean,
Yaz thinks we should report them to your guard friends that you made.
Friends is pushing it, but
Because, I mean, best case, they get arrested. Middle ground, they're up all night. Which is bad for performance. Best case for
Also-
them, they're just pissed tomorrow.
I mean,
It's
honestly,
also not, which is also bad for performance under pressure.
No. And no matter what, it will ruin their performance of whatever they're going to do. But I mean, look, if they are any worth their salt as a group of thieves, or we think they are, they should be able to get around something like this easily, right?
I mean, they might be assassins.
that too.
Most thieves
So-
I know don't resort to murder that easily.
Okay, so we could report them to the guards just to say, hey, we got our eyes on you too, kind of way.
Venehn was also considering pretending to be a young child and going to the guards and, I don't know, saying they smelled something funny outside of the house.
Ah, the bad men.
I mean, we could do a nice little combination of both, I mean, it's an idea.
I usually deliver their milk, but the people who answer the door aren't the people who live there.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, nothing we haven't done before. What do you think, Carter? Well, Carter's asleep.
He went to
Tucks
bed.
him in. He went to bed. Okay. Well, if it will hinder their performance, I say we do it. You do realize, though, if they get pissed off at us, they will retaliate in some form or fashion.
I have the feeling they may have it out for us already.
Good, it'll make them sloppy.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Although again, it may need to be the two of you. I still have a little bit of paperwork to do. Here's the crest to the house.
Takes the crest, looks at it. Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Maybe you should change out of that outfit then. I don't think that really comes off as
Yeah.
innocent little child.
Yeah.
I should change out of this too.
If this is the outfit of a child, the backstory has gotten extremely dark.
Yeah.
I'll put
Garas
my
will-
boots back on.
Garas will go change into a less conspicuous outfit and head out to do this.
Killed Sid.
You killed all of us. Jesus, Ben.
Jesus Christ,
I've
man.
been reading some pretty dark fantasy lately.
Apparently some very dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, remind me to tell you about
I
where,
don't wanna
where
hear
that
about
comment
that.
came from at break.
I don't know if I want to know now.
It's
Joe Biden.
yeah, my favorite YA fantasy author, Joe Biden.
Oh my god. Okay. That's the last political comment.
Allegedly,
That's why he's
in my
president.
opinion, allegedly.
And then she stood upon the parapets and
No,
looked down
we're-
at everyone.
We're done.
That was
Alright.
a really good one.
All right. Can we take our
And
break
as she
already?
stood upon parapets.
All right.
All
So Venn
hands.
and Garas
She's running
are
that
heading
shit.
out. Venn and Garas are heading back to the guard post at the gardens to
Yeah.
speak with the guards there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Yaz, you're gonna finish up your forgery for the evening, and Carter is resting. Okay. So after Venn gets changed, I assume putting on some peasant's garb and
Yeah, just really basic.
baggy clothing.
Just really plain stuff. Yeah, because a little bit baggy clothing. Clothing has made me look a little smaller.
Okay.
No shoes.
All right. You head out, two of you, back across the city, and to the walls of the gardens. And there you can see the guard post is still attended by 4 guards. I'm just gonna. Yeah, we'll say it's the same ones from earlier. They
Yeah,
have
these guys don't get a break.
Apparently
Look,
not.
they're diligent about their work.
I mean, it's been long enough that they're probably on their next shift now.
Oh, that's true. We did
so-
see them like early today.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we
So-
get close, because Garrus is like a good several inches taller than me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I take Garrus's hand and do the kind of like walk a little bit behind him, as if like I've found a nice man in the street who will help me find the guards and tell them about this horrible crime that I've witnessed.
I also give Venn the picture of the crest that Yasmera drew.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That same guard from before recognizes you, steps forward, and says, "Evening."
Hey, Greg. Listen, I know you're busy right now, but come on. Tell them what you told me. Like, this kid, they came up to me. They were looking really afraid, and why don't you tell them what you told me? Come on.
It's like I've got Garrus's hand in one hand and the parchment like clutched in the other. I just have my face like mostly hidden like in a hood or whatever, like just like a little street urchin, no shoes.
I saw something bad in the gardens, Mr. Guard, sir.
Kind of like leans down towards you and says, "All right. What were you doing in the gardens?"
See, I'm little and very fast, so I work as a messenger sometimes for the rich people to buy food for my papa.
Okay.
But I went by one of the houses I usually go by, and the people who answered the door, they're not the people who live there. I've never seen them before in my life. And I saw something strange in the pond nearby.
Tell them about this. Tell them about the smell you smelled.
It smelled really bad. Like a metal smell, like a coppery smell.
Okay.
And I hand him the parchment. This is what the crest looked like.
Takes the Chris looks at it, looks back at you, says, "And what was in the pond?"
I was afraid to get too close to look. But it
Must be
sort of
brave.
smelled
You can do.
like maybe a person who shouldn't be in there.
I'm gonna have you make a check. I think this will be performance.
Stand on the balcony. I'm Gavroche.
You are pulling some big Garosh vibes. Let's hope it doesn't end the same way for you. Let's
You wouldn't fucking dare, dude.
to you. Yes, I would.
Not-
to an
Not
actual
little
child.
Gavroche,
No.
but I'm only 9 years old, and I've
Uh-huh.
got these great hats that I wear. But then they shot me on the barricades, didn't they? It was so terrible.
Please roll performance for me.
I did. 17.
That's pretty good. He looks out the paper and looks back to one of the other guards and says, "All right. Well, thank you for bringing this to our attention." Kind of thinks for a moment, looks back, and says, "All right. We'll have to pass this along, and we'll have a patrol sent out there within the next couple of days to check out what's going on."
You can always count on me to look out for my lords and ladies of Minrathis.
Right. We're gonna have you come with us to give a statement.
Oh, it's really past my bedtime.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be able to bring any official charges unless the council gives us leave to investigate, and so we'll need a formal statement before we can do that.
Come on, Greg.
What does that mean?
Garrus looks at the guard and looks
Sorry,
and
I'm
then
such
looks,
a little
looks back at
shit.
the guard. He's like, "Well, I'm sorry, but it means it means these guards have their hands tied through the bureaucratic system put in position here. I mean, they could just go in and do their job and their best job. I mean, they're amazing at what they do. I think that they have the full right to just go in and investigate right off the bat. I think, if they went in now and they did find something, maybe it would even prove even better to the fact that the city needs them as the official guards during the entire tournament instead of hiring these militias."
Wow, those were some really big words, mister. But all I know is the Imperial Guard are my heroes.
The Imperial Guard are your heroes. Wow. Hear
I
that?
always thought maybe one day I could be big and tall and wear the nice robes and armor like them and be brave for the people of Minrathis.
I think you do a great job.
I even learned how
That's
to
it.
spell Minrathis the other day.
You did. That's fantastic. They learned how to spell Minrathis. He looks up at the cards when he says that.
I'm really glad we're doing this bit.
Okay. So I want Garrus to make a persuasion check. I was gonna give you a negative modifier to it, but I will cancel that out with Venehn's
They're
assistance
my
on this,
heroes, my lord.
because
this
because
is the
you saying if they would, you effectively saying if only they did their jobs and then backpedaling so hard. We'll
No,
just call
if
this-
only they could do their jobs.
I didn't hear the could when that was initially said.
their
And
hands
judging
are
by the
tied by
reaction
the
of some of the other
bureaucracy.
people at this table, I don't think the could was there.
Oh,
but you
that's
did
what I read.
backpedal.
That's what I heard. But I'm also
Well-
doing the bit.
Well, I got an 18.
Okay.
Sorry. Somebody either use their first time chat to say lay it on thicker. I'm doing my fucking best, K Williams.
The guards look to each other and Greg, who we have now named, looks to one of them and says, Chet, come over here for a second. Hands the slip over to him and says, take Brad and these are true Tevinter
The
names.
classic Tevinter names.
Oh God.
It's short for Bradius and Gregius.
Yeah.
Gregius is good.
Excuse me, Grinaldo. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Says,
And I got nothing for Chet.
bring this report.
Sheticus.
Bring the report to the magistrate, and let's see if we can have a patrol go by in the morning and make sure everyone's okay. And they begin to talk, and then he kind of like kneels down in front of you, Ven, and smiles and says, "You've done something very brave." He says, "So you want to be a guard, huh?"
Oh, yes, it's my one dream in the whole world.
So much to learn how to spell Minrathous at
It's
your
a
age.
hard city to spell. But I did it.
Just he smiles and says, "How do you spell it?" Fan, do not look at his
N-
spelling right now.
INRATHOUS.
Is that right?
That is right.
Dude, eat my fucking nuts. I am killing it today.
I'm just gonna roll something for the guard here real quick. Okay, he knows
I
how to
looked
spell Minrathous.
directly at you while spelling that.
I was double checking whether the guard knew. He does. He gives a smile.
Take that, Gregarious.
And he reaches into a pouch behind him, pulls out a silver piece, and he hands it to you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
He says, "Why don't you get yourself something nice with that? And you keep up good work like this, one day you might just be Imperial Guard."
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll take care of this.
Thanks. You guys are doing a great job around here. Come on, listen, let me get you back home before your parents worry about you.
Get some rest. Enjoy the tourney tomorrow.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Heads off.
The two of you leave.
Oh my
Can you
God.
believe
that's like
I fucking remembered how to
I
spell
can't believe-
Minrathous?
I can't believe you fucking remembered. I mean,
Dude, as soon as I
for real.
said that, I was like, oh, fuck.
I thought you were laying it on a little bit thick at that part. So I was like, oh shit, he better get his way out of this
That's
one.
not-
They love it when kids do that shit. One of the best feelings in the world is when a kid looks up at you and is like, "You're my fucking hero."
That's true. You did the same thing with Garahel.
Hmm?
That's true. I mean, this is like the 5th time we this work too. I'm surprised.
Well, it's because at this stage, I'm not going to get any taller.
So the two of you head back to the Misty Heart Inn.
Mhm.
All right.
Could that have been a simple 5-minute mission? Yes.
That probably took about an hour. You by the time you get back, yeah, as I imagine, it's finished up with the forgery. It is very late. Are y'all going to get some rest for the night?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 3 of you crash, resting for the evening. Carter sleeping soundly in the other room. Is anyone keeping watch?
In an
I'll
inn
keep watch.
behind locked doors.
It's up to you.
Garas will keep watch because, especially since he said it earlier, if we do something like this, they may retaliate. So Garas will keep watch.
Are y'all doing shifts, or is Garrus not sleeping tonight?
We don't have that many hours to go.
No.
Yeah.
Do we sleep and then we let Garrus sleep in and meet us later?
Yeah.
You can do that, yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah, Garrus doesn't have to be there for the registration process. Garrus can sleep in late, so
Okay.
yeah.
We'll
So
just-
Garrus will
you
miss.
come meet us after the registration part.
So Garrus will miss registration, but we'll keep eye on. So Garrus, can I get you to make a perception seeing test for me?
Okay. That is a 17.
Okay. You sit in the sort of main room of your little suite here. You're at the end, and you are doors locked. You're sitting near the window, keeping an eye on outside. It is dark. A little bit of mist rolling in across the cobblestone streets as the streets cool from the warmer day earlier, and the night chill sets in. Still being winter, or the later edges of winter. There's a very heavy chill in the air. You keep an eye out across the fountains, looking out over the square here, and you can see the proving area, this arena in the distance where Carter will be competing tomorrow. And the evening passes quietly. Occasionally shadows moving, but nothing that catches your attention. The Carter, while you sleep,
The Carter. I like
the
that.
Carter,
That's his
what
Twitter
is-
handle.
What is What is Carter dreaming about?
I was thinking about that. I think if this is one of the times where he and Eckert are together in his dreams, we'd just like to kind of recreate that night, the night they shared in Orlais, dancing around in the Plaza de Rose and enjoying dinner and wine and the lanterns overhead and all that, and doing his best to, like, I don't know how much active control I have over the fade while I'm in there, but try to give Eckert the experience of hearing the Forlorn Love as played by the Incantatrix
Incantatrix.
that word. I fucking took Latin. I should be able to say that.
I don't know if it's a real word or not. As you're dreaming, having this peaceful moment, I imagine it's pretty easy for Carter to drift off to sleep, even with the pressure of what's going to happen tomorrow, just not really feeling that anxiety. As you sleep, or as you are experiencing this dream, the fountains of Orlais sort of cascading, little bits of like droplets of water catching the light in this like prismatic color. It's very much like this heavy kind of filter on everything of like the lights flaring in just the right way to give you this like dreamlike quality as you're dancing. And as you are spinning and like holding Eckert, the two of you smiling, there's one moment where Eckert kind of like you extend your arm, kind of arms, both of you like holding each other's hands, and Eckert's grip slides for just a second as your fingertips leave each other's touch, and the music just kind of stutters for a second, and you catch yourself looking back towards the dining area, this pavilion, the patio there with the tables and chairs where there had been a few dozen faceless people sitting before, not faceless in a spooky way, but facelessness and wasn't a concern to you, sort of in this gray sort of background filter. But there's no one there anymore. The pavilion is empty, and you look back, and Eckert's gone too.
Eckert? What? Where'd you go? Love, I'm scared. Where did you go?
It really was a beautiful song, wasn't it? And your attention is drawn to the voice, and you can see sitting in a chair 2 empty glasses and a bottle of wine, legs crossed in front of him, gray hair kind of swept back, blue eyes, gray facial hair. You see a middle-aged man, probably 10, 15 years older than you are. The man that you had seen earlier that night, sitting in the booth across from you at the performance.
So I think, feeling suddenly very defensive, Carter would manifest the appearance of plate mail and fling his hand out, and Eckert's halberd would be in his hand, and he would point at the man and say, "Who in the void are you?"
You know, this is your dream. I can't hurt you here. Reyes. My name is Reyes.
And what do you want with me?
Just to talk.
The armor flickers away. And he pulls a chair out away from the table, sits at it, but he doesn't scooch up into the table. He pulls the chair back a good foot or two away, kind of defensively, crosses a leg over his knee, and says, "Then talk."
Wine. I always loved Orlesian wine. Picks up the bottle, uncorks it, pours a glass for himself, gestures towards you.
I've got
No?
a big day tomorrow.
Me too. Sets it down. I find myself unable to sleep very well unless I've had a drink or two before. Takes it, downs the whole glass. Puts it back down. Like I said, Orlais. A lot of things I'll never understand, but the wine. That's where the magic happens. You would know all about that, though, right? Even your business?
See, the game is played in Minrathis as well. Can you get to the point?
The game is played everywhere, my friend. Carter, right? Given that it doesn't seem you're going to offer your name to me, I would like to make sure I'm referring to you correctly.
Digging for confirmation. You're not sure. I don't think I'll tell you.
Fair enough. I will stick with Carter, then.
Stick with whatever you want, intruder.
Fair enough. You're not going to answer this, or I'm fairly certain you're not going to, but how is it that you're still able to do this? I suppose I was under the assumption that the Tranquil couldn't dream.
Carter's porcelain mask begins to crack and crumble away from his face, and the head wrap that he wears over his head begins to transform into rose petals that flutter away, and the what's it called when you burn thing into flesh?
Brand.
Brand.
Brand, thank you. and the brand of Andraste's son on his forehead begins to almost burn. Like there's this intensity of light and heat from behind it seeping through the edges in the scarring. And he says, "You sure you want to find out?"
Yes, but I can see that this conversation may not go the way that I had hoped.
You want a peaceful conversation? Talk to me during the day. Do not invite yourself into the most private part of my life. This is not how introductions are made. I assume I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, and I'll try to force him out of my mind.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, I'll force myself out.
No, that works. You swipe your hand, and you can see like a look of sort of disappointment across his face as he's sitting in the chair. Everything's sort of wisping away like smoke around him, his own body sort of dissolving away. And the last words you hear are just, "Fair enough. See you tomorrow." And he's gone. And you sleep the rest of the night in peaceful oblivion until you wake the following morning.
Oblivion's a different game, though, right?
Shut up. But
Man,
yeah,
now I feel bad about using the dream sending spell on anyone else. Jeez,
Right?
Christ.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
what
little intrusive.
that's what
I'm
it's
still
like.
gonna blow up that hill. Like, that's the first thing that Yaz is doing when she gets back.
Might be a get permission thing first. That's whew.
So, Carter, you wake to sunlight coming in through the windows as dawn is coming up. The rest of you as well. Garas, having blearily gotten through the night, I imagine falling asleep very quickly on the couch or in one of the beds, and you can all...
I'll come get you.
And he rolls over.
Those
You guys woke
four.
up as early as possible and still getting an appropriate amount of sleep to just get prepared.
Those four from last night. They are capable. The old man entered my dreams. He is aware of where we are from, and to some extent who we are.
And I imagine he's going to be the one you see in the tournament.
If it is a tournament, I may or may not see him.
Did you get
But
any
he will be there.
sense of what he can do?
If he is adept with the magics of spirit as I am, and can enter one's dream, his talents may be like mine.
So then you know how to beat his ass, just in case.
Who would know who we were and be able to beat us here?
He knew my name as Carter. Only the three of you have spoken that name during our travels. I believe we have been followed. You said they clocked us at the show last night.
Definitely.
Then they knew of us already.
Did we get the impression this is like much like us? This is like a diverse group of people, right? This is not like a bunch of like
Yeah,
like, Teventer born like people who are probably like based in
No.
Minrathous.
The older man looks like he could be Teventer, but he could also just be from a bordering nation like Antiva or the Anders. Hard to
I'm
tell.
pretty sure that Brila is Dalish.
Brila is probably Dalish, from what you've seen. Where her tribe hails from, you can't
It's
be
not
sure.
fucking Minrathous.
Yeah. The other two, the other woman that Yaz followed was probably Ravani. And the man, the burly set man, could be Ferelden, but he could also have been Avar, as those tribes kind of intermix. So,
Yeah, it's highly possible we were followed here. They're like us, they're from all over, so. I don't think fucking Valmont.
Sent a group to trail us?
There is good cunning in that plot. If we should fail, they could pick up the remnants. Should we turn against him, they could ensure his will is done. That said, it fits the picture, but we have no direct evidence of it yet. To my eyes, we should double down our wariness, but there is perhaps not more else to be done yet.
We'll see what we can find during the darkness.
You know what else we should
will
double
feel
down? Double down and letting me get some sleep. Why are you talking about this in the middle of the room? I'm trying to sleep.
Shut up and
Go
go
into
to
one
bed.
of the fucking bedrooms. What's
Comfy
wrong with
here.
you?
He rolls off the sofa, grabs a blanket, and
Go
shuffles to the
upstairs.
bed. Going.
We don't.
Freaking princess.
We need to head to registration.
Yes.
Garas, barricade the door,
Mm.
please.
Okay, I'll barricade the door.
I'll be
Stay away
back
from the
for you in a
windows.
bit. And yeah, stay away from the windows. Just fucking go to bed.
Garrison goes up to the stairs and he'll take a chair, barricade the door with it, and he will sleep on the floor, but in like a corner, like far away from the window, but like his back towards it. So it's like he's kind of hidden in the room.
I do one more thing before we leave Garas, as we're sure he's barricaded the door. I'm gonna reach over to Yaz and grab one of her hairs and
Ah!
yours are longer than mine. I'm gonna
What the hell?
just pop the door open just a tiny bit and wrap it around the door handle and thread it in so we'll know if somebody's opened the door.
all right. So, Ven, Yaz, Carter, having gotten dressed, prepared with your papers of import with you, the three of you head out into the Plaza Square. Oh shoot, do I have I don't know if I have music for this. We'll just go with this. This is probably appropriate for Tevinter. The
Slightly ominous and self-important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the three of you head out into the festival, there are hundreds of people gathered outside of the proving
Before
area.
dawn? So it's like an iPhone opening or something?
At dawn,
This is
yeah,
like
there are.
tailgating, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean
This
there
is college
are.
football in Minrathos.
There,
MAU?
yeah, dawn's light coming into the square. There are already vendors out there, travelers coming in from out of town. You can see like more people probably arrived during the night. There were horses and wagons and big tents set up, all sorts of commotion out here for the celebration. There are some little like performers that are giving on displays of magical prowess on street corners. There are like fortune readings and all sorts of, I mean, it is very much like a whole event right now, but there's also an air of like tension in the air too, as you can see already heading to the proving area this early in the day. You see lines of very elegantly dressed magisters and important Tevinter citizenry that are heading into the Colosseum. They are kept mostly away from like the general rabble around here, kind of moving through the crowds effortlessly. and that there are lots of Imperial guards that are currently posted here as well, to keep the citizenry sort of separated. You head up towards the front entrance between the pillars of this Colosseum, past the sun and into the shade. Once again, there are large braziers that are alight here to fend off the cold, as it is still kind of the night's chill still wearing off. And there are a few like signs in here as well, kind of pointing in different directions for different sort of like early morning events that are going on. Looks like there's probably some sort of like brunch essentially that they're having, that a lot of the magisters are attending before
it's not continental. Oh, fuck that.
But the tourney is going to take place over the course of the day. Pretty much, it is not the event is slated to start before noon. So you head up to one of the attendants that are there, or I assume that's your approach. I mean, what you just finding an attendant and being like, we're here to register?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did all this work on the paperwork so we could do it legit.
As you approach, who is the one that's doing the speaking, or is Carter speaking for himself?
That would be me, I guess. Shit, Garas isn't here. I have to do it.
I mean, unless you want to like announce yourself or announce me for me.
What's your
to venter mage arrogance? It might be wiser for me to do
that.
It.
Would probably fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because Venehn is not disguising elven features, is going as sort of I remember your kind of backstory that you concocted before was like an elven servant of the family who had saved their lord's life or something along those lines. Okay. And
also the one that's going to be pulling the most focus.
Yaz is hiding obviously her Kunari heritage.
What's your name again? What's your fake name again?
Tybalt Evander.
Tybalt Evander.
As you approach, the attendant looks towards you, Tybalt.
Presenting my lord and newest registrant for the Magister's tourney, the most wonderful Lord Tybalt Evander.
The attendant gives a nod towards you and says, greetings, my lord. If you would follow me for the registration, we are doing our preliminary, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Qualifications for the contestants. If you wish to follow me to present your heraldry and submit to inquiry.
Of course. You too. As you will, for the time. I will find you back here, and I'll lean in forward a little closer and say, figure out whatever you can. They're here somewhere. I am sure of it.
At your will, my lord.
Yes.
The attendant looks to you, the two of you, and says, as attendees of the contestant, if you would enter to my left here, the gathering room is set up for anything you might need this morning, refreshments and the like. Should your lord be selected as one of the contestants for the tourney, then you will be escorted to the viewing platform.
We thank you for your assistance.
Of course. Please, my Lord Evander, follow me. And the attendant walks off.
Do you think the food is good?
Fucking better be. Come on, so we can find
hungry.
So the two of you head into this banquet hall, which is actually as
Garas
you go.
doesn't get to eat, he's going to be so pissed.
Garas, I will bring you back in. I think, yeah. Let's plan on bringing you back in here in a little bit. Give a couple hours to schmooze his and then I'll get you back in. But unfortunately, we'll miss this early beginning.
To sleep though.
Yeah, otherwise you would be at a penalty for the rest of the events today. But the as you two are led towards the banquet hall, you actually find yourself winding kind of downstairs towards some subterranean alcove, along with most of the other attendees. And as you enter, is brightly lit, like massive braziers and glowing orbs that are embedded into the ceiling. And there is a whole spread of a banquet that is down here. Everybody sort of not like tables that are set out, mostly like people standing there with small little their little like hovering pedestals that they have their food and drinks set upon, and mostly people are conversing and drinking and being snobby as hell.
Did we come up with fake names?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Did we want to do that real quick? I'm assuming we
Had
would
that
have
thought.
worked on that.
I mean, I'll just make some shit up.
What nationality would make sense for Yasmera just being a very large human?
Avar, maybe?
Yeah, you can get away with
It's
Avar.
like the big, huge,
They tend to be very tall.
hulking mountain tribe folks.
Cool. What's a good name for that?
Oh, you know.
I'll let y'all scheme while we're discussing or while we're doing the
Not-
rest. So the
Google
two of you
was like, did you mean avatar names?
No.
the two of you are in the banquet hall, begin to carouse, while Carter, you are led into the down a short passageway to a set of doors that are open, and you step out. You hear the like trickling of water, and can feel a bit more air movement like circulating through here. As you step out of these doors, you are in what you assume to be the grounds of the proving area. There is it's a large stone kind of platform, or actually two stone platforms that are with a trough of water that cuts between them, and then a circle of water that encircles the rest of the platform itself up against the walls, and then the walls lead up to the stone like arena seating all throughout here, and then you can see up towards one side of the room, kind of underneath where you came out from, is the viewing platform, you suppose, kind of juts out from the stadium, built to look out over the proving grounds here, and there are you can faintly make out some like conversation happening up at there, and it there's a couple of seats that sit like near the edge of it, though nobody is currently occupying those. The entire arena itself is constructed of this dark stone marble, except for the roof, which has a moonlight or the circle carved out at the top, whereas a shaft of sunlight is kind of coming through at an odd slant due to the early morning hours. And on each section of the proving area, on each of these platforms, there is a raised stone dais with a set of stairs leading up to them. Very elegant, elaborate, but it kind of has this like old, kind of less like more it's less ornate than a lot of the other interiors of buildings you've been in here in Tevinter. It has more of like a practical element to it, and something very weighted to it, like with the weight of history. As you're in this room, though, there are probably 2 or 3 dozen magisters, potential contestants that are kind of milling about, like some speaking with each other, some standing on their own, waiting, as near one edge of this proving ground is a series of tables that are set up with 7 magisters sitting behind those tables, and it looks like one by one they're calling people over, and whoever is being called over sort of stands there rigidly and is like answering some questions. As you're standing there, the attendant says, "I will submit your name for consideration, Lord Evander, and I will you will be called short in due time."
Well done.
Says, "Thank you, my lord." And the attendant heads off to the table, kind of waits to the side. As you can see, this like questioning is finishing up. Whoever they were speaking to moves away, and they move up to the table, like lean in to give a name. You can see them like writing a name on a list before they call up the next contestant. Is there anything Carter is doing while he's
Yeah,
here?
so Carter, he's going to look like he's not doing a lot, but he's doing a lot. He's just kind of meandering around the interior of the proving ground, running his fingers across the stone. And part of his brain is thinking about the ridiculousness of him from his family history being here, remembering the war stories that like his father would tell and shit like that. And while he's doing that, I just want to start scanning the crowd for Reyes. Is that his name?
Yes.
Reyes. And also whoever my eyes land on, even if it isn't Reyes, I just want to use that emotion sense every few minutes or every few seconds, every so often to get kind of a vibe of what the average person is feeling in here.
Yeah, make a perception seeing check. And then I'll also give you a little bit of insight from your skill.
Right. Perception. $16.
Okay. Yeah, you're scanning around. There's a lot of people here. Far more than will be competing in the event. But you're kind of scanning the crowd, looking for a lot of people wearing like hoods and ornamentation that's kind of obscures their face, so it's really hard to make out a lot of people until they move up to the table, and you can see some of the people when they move to the table, they lower their hoods and then they speak to the magisters. As you're kind of like scanning for emotions, like spot checking people out of the group, you catch a lot of different emotions, a lot of nerves, anxiety welling amongst them from the pressures of the day. This air of like contempt, superiority, self-assuredness. It's sort of a mix between those two, and you can pretty much like gather who here is like of higher standing and is doing this assuming their assured victory, and who is doing this to try to prove themselves and climb up the ranks of magister society. And as you're glancing around, the names are being called. Most of them, you're catching, but aren't nothing notable to you. You're watching as people are going up to the tables, and they call out one name and say, Lord Itelli. And you see somebody move up to the table, lower their hood, and you see gray hair, taller gentleman, thin. You see Reyes has moved up to the table and begins to answer their questions. Is there anything Carter wants to do as he finishes or while he's speaking?
I wouldn't hate trying to put myself close enough to the table. I'm going to speak to him after he's done anyway, so it wouldn't be too weird for me to be a little closer to the table, but I'd like to get close enough to hear some of his answers.
I don't think they're going to let you close. There's a pretty like wide gap that is kept between them. Like most of the contestants are moving close enough to be able to hear, and there's that kind of running water and like low murmuring and stuff that's going on from conversations. So you probably can't hear it, but you can see a couple things that are going on. Also, are you trying to read his emotions or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a couple of like what you're seeing, and then I'll tell you what you're feeling. They're speaking to him for a bit, sort of some like each in turn, some asking some very brief questions. Looks like they're looking over some paperwork. And then after they answer his questions, you can see, which you've probably seen a couple times now, but weren't exactly sure what they're doing until you kind of meandered way over here to look more closely. You watch as one of them, one of the magisters around the edge, actually gets up and moves up like just in front. You've seen them do this for every person just before they turn around. Gets up, moves around the table, and stands right in front of Reyes, and pulls a small object from their hand. It looks like a piece of chain with like a crystal or something on the end. It probably actually looks like a piece of lyrium or something of that nature. And they sort of hold it up, and you watch as it sort of glows brightly, and the Magister gives a nod, pockets it, and then gives a nod to Reyes, who does so in return out of respect, and then turns to rejoin the group. And the Magisters return to writing down some information. As all of that is happening, though, and you're reading his emotion, you're not getting any anxiety off him, like, and not that self-assuredness. It's like a very calm, like still emotion. And the first emotion that you kind of get from him is pity. And then that, as the conversation goes on, that kind of stills a bit. And he sort of says his goodbye. Just as he's turning, you're getting this emotion in his mind of contempt. But as he turns and he sees you, he locks eyes and gives like a slight nod in your direction. He doesn't move towards you, though. It's like he moves away to make you catch up to him if you want to talk to him.
I will.
You find him near the edge, and he is stood there and watches you approach, and gives a nod towards you. Says, "My lord."
My lord. I would like to grant you the opportunity to restart a discourse, if that is still of interest to you.
Kind of turns his head towards you and says, "I suppose."
Feel no obligation. This is a kindness from me.
Why are you here today? Competing?
My friends said it would be fun.
I had assumed that much. And is that all?
Perhaps a tete-a-tete for us. Question for question. Why have you enrolled?
Because there are great works afoot. And this is merely one step along that path.
That was a well-crafted answer. You have my admiration in that regard. Your question.
I will pose the same one as before. Is that all?
I am certain that the motivator of all men is present here as well. Coin is attractive, I suppose. It means not as much for me, but I do care for my friends. My question. Who are you and your friends? Are they your friends, perhaps? Would be a better question.
Friendship. I suppose so. They are important to me. I wouldn't call them my friends, though. I would call them my obligation. My responsibility. On the matter of friendship, are they truly your friends? Are you able to feel such a bond?
Those feelings that people have when they care for someone is not the care itself. I do not need to feel a flutter in my heart to know they would die for me and I for them.
An equally well-crafted answer. You have my understanding. Is there anything else?
Not for now.
Then allow me to give you one piece of advice. Withdraw. There are far more important things at stake here than coin.
He'll lean in a little closer and keep eye contact. And he says, if that is true, then I and mine are where we should be.
You hear a voice from behind you say, Lord Evander?
What was his family name?
He was referred to as Iteli.
Lord Iteli. I
Lord
look forward
Evander.
to our next meeting. And I'll turn around and go do the scary registration thing. Oh,
All right.
This
Let's,
is like an exam. Like, Carter's fucking got this in the bag.
Yeah, for real.
Let's move back to the others. We're about at break. Give me a perception check quickly, Yaz and Ven.
Just straight perception.
Perception seeing.
20.
Yeah.
17.
The two of you in the banquet hall. Wonderful food, drinks, plenty of things to entertain yourself with for the next few hours. However, one thing catches your eye across the room more than anything else. You see Ven Brila
Yes.
standing in the corner next to two other figures who you recognize from the night before. Brila smiles, raises a glass in your direction. And that's where we're going to take our break. So we're going to get through the rest of the registration period here and get into the contest so we can get everybody back together once we get back from the break. So thank you everyone out there for watching. Go stretch your legs, drink some water, get a snack, whatever you need to do. And we're going to do the same. So we will see everyone back here in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back.
comments.
Welcome back, Internet. Thanks for hanging out with us while we took our break. We're going to jump back into things. So, where it stands right now, Yaz and Ven are in the banquet hall, have just caught eyes with the
Look out.
Other
new
three
girlfriend
members.
just dropped.
other three members of this adventuring party, thief group, whatever you want to call them, that y'all have named Blue Justin. And Carter is currently being interrogated, questioned.
Quizzed.
I was
um,
hoping you wouldn't use that word
by the
specifically.
by the magisters, and Garrus is sleeping. I think what I want to do, there will be plenty of time during the event for y'all to talk with the other members and like socialize with them. If we are okay with this, I want to get through Carter's thing, get everyone back together, and get the event started.
You
So we can-
fucking tease.
I know, I'm such a tease. Y'all will have lots of time to talk, I promise. So, but I want to get this thing started. Carter, you are standing before a panel of magisters, and as you step forward, the one in the center looks up at you and says, like they're reading off I imagine you handed your papers actually to the attendant. I didn't narrate that, but I would assume that you handed your papers to them when they went over there, so they have the forged documents that Yaz made. Yaz, what do you remember what you rolled on that before?
21.
Yeah, I was like stupid high.
It was very high. Just making sure because they will each get a check.
We said
looking
what we
over
made
it.
the crest look like too. Do you guys remember? Because I remember it being fucking.
It was
It was
it was a
a wyvern.
wyvern breaking out of chains with two halberds behind
Yeah.
it.
Mhm. And I think there's some more detail to it too, to
Sure.
represent everybody a little bit more. But yeah,
Yeah.
maybe some
Uh,
grapes.
The magister looks up at you and says, with a very like condescending tone, says, "Lord Tybalt Evander."
Can he not read?
Looks up over like the spectacles that he's wearing and says, "I'm not familiar with your family's name. Where do you hail from?"
We decided this, but Sita does not remember.
You
It was.
did.
I got it. I wrote it down.
It's also on the map. Hang on.
I'm putting the map up for y'all, but it was
It was just
It
south of
was,
Minrathis.
it
Marnus
is-
Pell.
Yes, Marnus Pell,
Mhm.
which was in the Blight before, sort of
Mhm.
wiped out, and then allied with Orzammar, and then they just started to rebuild.
Marnus Pell. My family has been recovering. It is of no surprise you have not heard of us in this illustrious city.
your training in the arcane arts. From whence did it come?
Officially, my family. My father was a magister.
Kind of nods, like furrowing the brow a little bit. And one of them down the panel says, "And your father's name?"
Garas.
It's always Garrus.
I was going to say, we
It's
used
always
Silas like
Garrus.
80 times. It could totally have been Silas, too.
Garrus Evander. I'm not
It's a
familiar.
cool name, dude.
Our family suffered heavy losses during the Blight and the war with Orlais.
Hmm.
My father spent much of his time repairing the damage done to our family. Regrettably, he was unable to make much of a presence here within the city.
Oh, shit, I forgot. Carter's wearing an Orlais mask, too, right now. I totally
Mhm.
forgot.
Looking up at you, and says, "And your father or family member served during the march?"
Yes.
One from down the panel looking up at you says, "And where do your skills as a practitioner lie?"
I excel at matters of spirit. It has aided me in my time abroad. I have spent many years assisting connections with Orzammar.
Another one says, who has been pretty quiet and just kind of staring at you until now, says, And your reason for entering the tourney.
Forgive my impertinence, but why not? The spoils of such a victory would do well for myself and my family.
I'm gonna have you roll etiquette.
Cool.
Can his dope ass heraldry assist in any way?
I'm factoring that into the difficulty.
I say I think that might be letting him make the check.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have good.
Gonna try for a skid.
We just like to help.
Okay, so it's an 8, but it does have 2 stunt points. Crackers. I rolled 2 2s and a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Where is RP stunts?
Let's see.
Carter does a rapid reload and then shoots the Magister in the face.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to do and another thing. And I'm going to go directly into a war story that my father told me at some point that I just remembered a few minutes ago when I was running my fingers across the wall, but I'm going to tell it from the other side.
From the, like,
From
as
the-
if, yeah.
Yeah, as if my family were the Teventer family. Okay, let me think here for just a second. Give me just a second. I want the story. I want to emphasize any points on how the victories that the made up Evander family achieved during that campaign or whatever, during that bit of combat affected Teventer, how it helped Teventer, and perhaps, God, I don't know, perhaps get the dwarf. I'm at a bit of a loss. Perhaps got the dwarves involved. Maybe they had a presence during this encounter as well. I'm stretching hard here, but you're putting me on the spot real good with this one.
No, it's fine. That's okay. You don't have to come up with the elaborate story. You can just describing it is enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you make a. You can do. I don't know if you have focus in either of these, but either a leadership or a performance role. Both are communication.
Nope. All right. Here we go.
You got it, my dude.
Do that one. Ah, it's 10.
Okay. With a 10. You tell this story and largely they seem unaffected by it, and you see one of them sort of like leans over and whispers to one of the others, who gives a nod and scratches some information down and says, all right, that should be enough for the background. Leans back.
Can I
and
do a
says,
spirit read on the one who wrote something?
sure.
Next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm just trying
You
to make it to Friday.
get like a one-word
With
response.
my foot up your ass. Sorry.
Fuck the corpos.
I would say the response that you're getting right now is bored.
That could
That's
be a
fine.
lot worse, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do right now. You're going to be rolling a couple of times. We're not going to play this out because that would be super boring if I did. But you're going to be doing an advanced test on your own right now.
Okay.
And they are going to, he leans back and says, all right, we're going to ask you a series of questions to ascertain your skills intellectually with the arcane. Answer the questions thoroughly, precisely, but keep them brief. the one at the end begins to ask you a question. So what I'm going to have you do is you are going to do an arcane lore cunning check, and you're going to do 3 checks: arcane lore, spirit magic, it's the third one I want to have you do. You said your focus was in spirit versus arcane lore. I think with the last one, I'm assuming your spirit is probably your best magical stat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other magic focuses?
Yeah, Arcane Lance.
Okay, but that's not in one of the schools.
Nope.
Okay. We're gonna call it 2 arcane lore checks and 1 magic spirit check.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, because you did badly on those, the target number you're trying to get is higher. Which each of these rolls, you need to get what's the difficulty I'm setting on this? To succeed on each of the checks and to generate points, you're going to need a 13. You are going to need, because you failed on both of those. You are, between these 3 checks, you're going to have to generate 10 points on your dragon die.
Okay. My first roll is already really good. First arcane lore is 16 with 6 points.
That's very good. So they begin to quiz you on some of the nature of the arcane. Asking about various specialties, but focusing in on spirit, as you said that was your specialty. And yeah, you can kind of sense a couple of them, like, again, very unimpressed at first, beginning to kind of warm up to a little bit, not like delving a little bit more into like theory and practice in your own perspectives on magical practicing. Go and do your second check for arcane lore.
Okay. $21 with 4 more points.
So that's 10. Okay. So here's you see like a lot of them leaning forward. Even the one before that was bored is like getting a bit more excited, and you can see them like writing some stuff down.
He said,
I think
"Genius,
Carter
we'll
is-
let the etiquette stuff go."
I think Carter is positing some theoretical bits about spirit magic, given his kind of unique perspective on it, and like the fade and the relationship between magic, dreaming, and mortals.
Mhm.
and even positing bits about tranquility, which I don't think Tevinter does tranquility, do they? Or
No.
or do they do it as like a big punishment thing? Like
they
no?
don't use
Okay.
that practice here. That
Okay.
is highly frowned upon. They would just kill you.
Yeah, cool.
They
But
got
he's going
slaves though, and that's cool.
He's
Yeah,
going
that's fine.
to use some
They don't have magic.
some Orlesian knowledge and talking bits about how the tranquility affects the interaction between the user and magic.
Okay. I'm gonna have you do your spirit magic roll here. You've already succeeded. I just need you to keep track of how many additional points you generate right now. Just track them for your own purposes. This will come into effect later on.
Well, it's a big old. I mean, I succeeded, but I rolled 2 6s and a 1, and the 1 is on the dragon die. So ain't that a stinker?
You've got 1 point. Just hold on to that 1 point for now.
Okay.
They finish the exam, looking back, kind of nodding to each other, and the last one, or as they step up, or as they finish folding and neatly putting their papers to the side, says, Thank you very much for answering our questions. Finally, we will, before we dismiss you, administer a test to ensure that your capabilities would stand up against the remaining competition. And the magister at the end stands and moves around the table towards you with that pendant in hand that that he was holding before. Make me one more arcane lore check.
And it was lyrium, right?
15. 5 stunt points if it matters.
Probably not in this case. But maybe we can do something for it, and just let me know if there's something on there that you think would be appropriate with the information I give you. This is a sensor. Essentially, this can be used. The Templars can use it to determine whether somebody is capable of using magic. This is used across the continent. And in this case, it can sense whether somebody is like their sort of magical aptitude. They're using it here as kind of a dowsing rod to see like how much magic you have, how much mana is stored within your body.
Well, this could go interestingly.
I would say with your role and your understanding of this, you are not sure whether they will pick up anything from you, given your state as a tranquil. So given that you know that, is there anything Carter would like to do in this moment to potentially mitigate that? Because you would know when they did the like in the circle, like after you were made tranquil, they would have used these to confirm like the procedure had worked and that you didn't have magic, because they essentially thought that you were incapable of using magic at the time of your tranquility, before you were able to escape.
No. I think I'm just going to roll with the punches on this.
And just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine, Carter, as you're standing there, like you've seen these before and you've seen them used on you earlier in your life.
I do want to push against the barrier in my mind just a little bit, not enough to actually cast a spell, but like if it is metaphorically a wall in my mind, I just want to put my ear and my hand up against it and feel Eckert on the other side.
Okay. Roll spirit for me one more time.
Cool.
You stay there without attempting to cast, because you know it'd be obvious right now if you attempted to like use a spell or something. I mean, magic is something that has been that you had to sort of relearn after this process and like pushing it. I mean, with the nature of where you're at with this botched tranquility, like it did suppress your magic. And over time you found it easier to push against that, but it has always been more effort to you than you probably remember being younger to access the fade and draw power from it. But that barrier has gotten more permeable the more time that you have spent using magic, the more you've relied on it. And I don't think you've quite realized just like how weak that barrier has gotten the more that you have attempted to call forth this power and to access the fade. And as you are standing there in the dowsing rod, this the sensor is held before you. You push against that towards the fade, and you feel that contact being made with you. Whether it's in your mind, you're attempting to reach out to Eckert, whatever power it is that you're drawing from beyond, you feel that connection, you feel that touch in your mind, and despite the fear and anxiety that you find leaking through when you access that magic, and in this moment, knowing where you're at and all that connection to your emotion that is stifled and muted during your waking hours, you feel those emotions coming back to you as you tap into the fade, and as you look down, you see that censer glowing brightly in front of you, and that it sort of hovers and vibrates there, a few inches from your chest. And the magister in front of you gives an approving nod and turns back and places the censer back in his hand and says, "That is all we need, Lord Evander. You are dismissed."
Have my thanks.
And you return back to the group. And there's some time that passes as you're waiting, maybe trying to comprehend what just happened and taking stock of it, wondering how you did compared to the others. And the last few are called. Everyone is waiting. The panel retires for a while, and about 15-20 minutes later they return, and the one that was speaking to you from before looks out and says, "Thank you, my lords, one and all, for attending our inquiry and submitting yourselves to our examination. With the Archon's approval, we have the final tourney listings for today's event as follows." And an attendant to the side holds out a scroll and begins to list off names. Goes through one at a time, announcing in order of the matchups, as there will be 32 selected for this tournament. So there will be 5 rounds, essentially, of competition. And you hear a couple of names listed off. Then eventually you hear Lord Reyes Atelli. And you see Reyes give a nod, and a few of the other lords and magisters in the arena here congratulate. And the names are listed, and they continue. And with each name, you're that anxiety of, it's not me this time. It's not me this time. This whole thing could fall apart. And again, that feeling and that emotion is gradually fading as you have dropped your connection to fade to the point where you can register the importance of it, though maybe not necessarily the emotion. Until finally, Lord Tybalt Evander. Thank you, each and every one of you. You may retire at your leisure to the banquet hall, and we will call on each of you in time that have been selected to the viewing platform, and the tournament will commence precisely at noon. Congratulations once again. And there's some frustration and some muffled cursing.
Do you know who my father is?
Yeah, some people stepping forward to speak with the panelists, but plenty of others happy and maybe a bit nervous retire back to the banquet hall. And I assume Carter does the same.
Yeah, he'll keep an eye on Reyes for a second to see if he looks over at Carter, and if they do, he'll give a nod. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Reyes catches her eye and gives a nod. From your matchups in the tournament postings, you are not in the same bracket as Reyes. So if Reyes is able to make it to through the tournament, the only time that you would contest him would be in the finals.
I'm whispering up to Yaz, like, I think we should go get Garas now.
I was gonna say, Garas, you have woken after bleary-eyed after a night without sleeping. You can feel the sun coming in like on your face as you're asleep on the couch, and and I imagine Garrus like frantically getting dressed in the room. Is there anything Garrus wants to do before he
He
finds the others?
he frantically puts on like the clothes, but actually no, he doesn't frantically do it because Garrus is kind of meticulous when it comes to disguises. So he makes sure that it's just right, and he puts those two ornamental daggers on the belt as like a belt buckle, and he brings the rapier too as like a, because it's a very decorative sword regardless, and he attaches it to his waist, and then like hurries out.
Okay, you hurry out of the room, back across the square and towards the tournament grounds. Again, it's even more crowded here than it was before. Some people are beginning to file into the arena. And as you are approaching the arena, you can see a line of darkly dressed imperial nobility filing out of another hallway and heading to a different room in the proving grounds, and you see Carter among them.
He will, as he walks past, are they like kind of parallel to each other? Like he like walks past them like kind of close?
Yeah, I mean you could walk up to Carter. It's
All
like
right.
you're not divided.
He just kind of like, when he walks past Carter, he gives Carter like a nod of like, you did it kind of thing, and then keeps on going.
Because Carter's going the direction that the rest of the people are at, so
Yeah.
y'all could meet up, or if you want to move separately.
Yeah, kind of like separate, like try to look out for the others first and let Carter come find us.
Garrus just walks past like a salmon going upriver and then ducks back around and goes in the same
Yeah.
direction as everyone else.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so Venehn, Yaz, you see a bunch of people come into the room and begin to filter into other conversations and mesh into the room. You see Carter among them, and you see Garrett shortly after.
Just give a little wave.
Heads on over. Oh, well, it looks like our boy is in, huh?
We're in.
Are those other three members still there?
Yeah, as Carter comes up to join your group, as you notice them, you see Reyes move across the room over to the other three. So their whole group is gathered on the other side of this banquet hall.
It's looks at the others, then looks over at the other crew across the way. So that's them, huh?
Yep.
Carter, you got any dirt on him?
He seems like he washes well. However, I did learn some things.
Carter, was that a joke? Because I know you know what that one means.
Oh my God, damn it.
I know we've said that one before.
I try not to look at you when I'm playing Carter because it's hard not to smile.
Are you doing a joke?
No. You know I am incapable of humor.
That's super not true. You told me at least 2 jokes since we've met.
I've heard
You're
you
an
said
FBI
many
agent.
jokes.
There are large things that may be happening here. There is more going on than just a tournament and the traipsings of criminal activity.
Of course there is.
They always have a hidden agenda for
We
these
can't just
big
have
things.
fun and like win a bunch of money. It's got to be some like world-ending bullshit.
So are we getting ourselves involved? I guess we are, if these bozos are involved with it.
I mean, we're getting involved because there's 20,000 fucking silver on the
Yeah,
line.
but I mean, you know, whatever kind of big agenda, secret agenda that's going on, do we interpose ourselves in it, or should we just focus on the money?
We know nothing of the agenda yet. For all we know, would be in agreement with their motives.
That is a big yet.
I agree.
Still don't know how they know who we are.
That is very.
Either.
We'll find out. One of them has already given me her name or moniker willingly, so we'll find out.
If they know who we are, do they know why we're here?
Question. I mean, we're being pretty secretive of the whole job we've been on.
Secretive enough, apparently.
They know Carter's name.
They knew more than that.
The security of the carts may not be as firm as we first believed. There is.
Should we be checking on our main objective?
It is our main objective.
I could make a run.
At this time, the there's like a hush that falls over the hall, and one of the attendees, one of the magisters, steps in and says, "My lords and ladies, at this time, we invite those that have been selected to join on the viewing platform so that we can prepare for today's event. Please, follow me." And takes a step back, and you can see the contestants and their entourages moving to a edge of the room or down towards the corridor.
I believe in all of you. You will do well. Trust in me. If I learn anything more, I will let you know.
Can any of us go with you?
You can all go with. I'll let you all know.
Oh,
If you everybody with anyone who is selected and their attendees are able to join on the viewing platform. Only those on the viewing platform will be able to affect the outcome of this competition.
I'll go with Carter.
I can go ahead. I can go in and give a peek behind the curtain for kind of how this is all going to go, if that might help influence your decision too. Because you probably picked up on a little bit of this through, they're talking about the tournament and all of that. We talked about it before. The way that the tournament is going to go is, as I said, there will be 5 rounds. Carter will be the one competing in each of those 5 rounds. There will be a series of checks that Carter will have to make, some magic tests, a series of 3 tests that Carter will have to make, and best his opponent in 2 out of 3 of them. The difficulty with each round is going to get significantly higher. I will be rolling against Carter, essentially. It's not going to be a static number. The way that y'all affecting the outcome through some of the carousing and intermingling with the judges and other contestants is going to be through a series of checks that you can make between the rounds. It's a target number 15 check that y'all will be making each time, and whatever you do is kind of up to you. It's very open-ended, kind of like some of the other things that we have done. The results that you have on this, if you succeed on these checks, the numbers that you roll on the dragon die will form a pool that Carter can then spend during that round to influence his rolls, to add to them. So if there are more of you there carousing and influencing the judges, Carter will have more points to spend if he rolls poorly to best his opponents. That will probably be pretty necessary towards the later rounds because his opponents will definitely have higher modifiers than he does.
One quick question.
Yes.
As they're walking away, are all 4 of them walking toward the platform right now?
Yes.
Okay. We should all go. Are there because you said there was food and stuff. Is there any kind of serving staff or anything
Yes, yeah, they have servants that are going to be attending on the viewing platform.
Okay. Before we go, Venehn is going to. We're all still dressed like super fancy, right? Like, we did that today too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
That was kind of the whole point of
I'm
y'all
just
getting
making
the
sure.
stuff.
Just making sure that we're
Yeah.
on the same page. I'll look around.
If y'all did all that work just to get fancy duds for the performance.
I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page. Listen, I know I've been rolling really well, and you're mad about it.
furious.
No, Venehn, just very quick because Yaz and Venehn have been in here for a while, so I was gonna try to clock, just one of the serving staff or like one of the runners or something that is like maybe closer to the door, somebody that looks like a little bit younger, maybe like they're newer at this job. Just like pick one out of the crowd.
Sure.
And very confidently is going to look at Carter and say, "Of course, my lord, I will return post haste." And just walks, doesn't say anything, no preamble, but just walks over towards this servant and says, "You."
Oh, yes,
Excuse me.
madam.
Are you would you be willing to do me a favor?
Of course. What do you need?
I have a friend here who is from out of town, very far away. They have a wagon stored and are concerned being in a new place that they have not had eyes on it in a while. Would you be willing to run and check on it for me?
I'm sorry, my lady. My obligations are here in the tournament grounds.
I hand him 50 silver. I just take his little hand. It would mean the world to me.
The silver over, like takes that, kind of like looks around a bit nervously. Says, "And what is it that you require me to do?"
And I just get just a very vague description of the cart and where it is. Check on it. There should be some casks and barrels and things. Make sure they're all intact. There should be. Venehn would know how many there should be.
Sure.
And that is all. If they are all there and they are fine, you come right back. And if anybody is looking for you, my lord sent you out for a very particular champagne.
Yes, of course. This will be done. I'll come find you once I return.
Thank you, my dear.
And the servant rushes off.
Okay, fucking better. It was 50 silver.
Thank you.
Thank you, Benny.
No, that was to Van specifically. Thank you.
I still got like 400 in my pocket, so
All right, cool.
we're good. Seemed like a good use of that 50. Yeah.
Yes.
You then return back to the group and follow Carter
Yes.
up the stairs.
Yeah. Just a quick conversation. Hand him some money. I even have some Imperial silver if that makes a difference.
Yeah,
Sure.
and do that.
Yeah.
Because I took 100 Imperial silver from what's her fuck.
You did.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can have 50 fucking Imperial silver then.
Okay.
Got 50 left.
Yeah. You head following Carter and the rest of this this cohort up the stairs and emerge onto into like an enclosed section of the pavilion. There's tables and seating, and there's drinks being served, large carafes of wine being poured. It's everybody sort of just they move the party upstairs as the more exclusive elite party going on the viewing platform, but you can hear just that say like like roaring of the like muttering of a crowd outside as you can look out from some drapery that is hung askew along the that is sectioning off this area from the actual like seating platform for you. And out there are thousands of Tevinter citizens waiting amongst the stands to watch the tournament that is about to begin. So this is when it essentially all kicks off. The magisters that are sort of attending to the tournament go to speak, and you can see as you walk up here, there's some discussions and milling about as and then a bit of focus that is given to one side of the room that you see from a doorway. Three figures emerge. These ones dressed in very elegant black robes, with like pointed cowls, draped with silver and jewelry, very like the simplicity of like the monochromatic coloring of the most of the Tevinter fashion sort of is highlighted by the sort of the ornate jewelry that they wear, or sort of highlights the ornate jewelry that they wear. And two enter, followed by a third who is wearing not solid black, but this like deep red with golds and silvers behind them, and you catch your first eyes on the Archon, the leader of the Imperium. They do not stay here on the viewing platform, though. They are flanked by a few Imperial guards and are immediately taken to another stairwell and led up to the second level of the viewing platform where the judges' stands sit. The other two magisters that are doing the judging kind of move around and speak and shake hands with a few of the some of the other attendees here as they go and make introductions. But it does not appear that the Archon will be staying down here. Made a brief presence, gave a bit of a wave, and headed upstairs. So the conversations are short here before the first round, as you will not have any time to sort of carouse here. That will take place between the next few rounds as the contestants, the selected for the tourney, are gathered once again by one of the officials here, who calls everyone over, including you, Carter, and says, "Please, my lords, if you'll attend to me but for a moment, we shall be beginning the tournament here in short. Please, come with me."
That's when I'll say the thing I said earlier.
Okay.
I'll turn to you guys and be like, trust in me, I trust in you, figure out what you can. I'll let you know however I can what I learn.
We got your back.
Look out there.
And you're gonna fucking kill it.
I do not believe murder is the end result of these
Carter.
combats.
You're
He gives
going
a
to
very
be
awkward
amazing.
wink to you.
Does he do like the Rocket Raccoon wink of like,
Yeah.
Now we're all standing. Bunch of morons.
Morons.
You're going to be amazing.
We shall see. I mean, turns to join the rest.
you'll be fine. You'll
We're
do
going
great.
to fucking cheat so hard.
Oh, we are.
He's going to win by like 1,000 points. Do they do points? Is this points?
I think it's a points kind of situation.
He's going to win by like 1,100 points.
Maybe like 50,000.
Maybe like 50 million thousand points.
50 billion trillion.
Yaz is already listening around to any of the chatter to try to get a sense of what might be helpful as she's just standing there with her arms crossed around these two knuckleheads.
Yeah, I'll go to because this will give you help during later stuff if you know kind of what's going on here. Make me I guess it'd be a perception hearing.
Got that. Trip 5s. That's 15 plus 7 is a 22.
So, yeah,
Just,
I mean,
I just like the idea, just hearing them go back and forth. She's in the middle of them, just like, and has completely blocked the two of them out.
We
It's just
are
other
fully
conversations.
Venehn and Garas are the equivalent of a white noise machine to
Yeah.
Yaz. Like
Yes.
we're
It actually
Yaz's.
helps her focus. Actually,
We
yeah.
are Yaz's lo-fi beats to study to.
as Carter is led off with the other participants, you are left to like you're speaking. Yeah, as you sort of tune everything else and out, and you know cock your head to the side at times to listen to some of the conversation going on around you. And yeah, you hear a lot of sort of like whispered conversation, some not so whispered, some a little more overt, speaking about some of the contestants, but like, I cannot believe that they've been selected. And it comes from a very just unremarkable family, and so like they're talking about, you know, kind of there's a lot of shade. For a place as brightly lit as this, there's a lot of shade being thrown.
Brighter the light, the darker the shadows.
Yeah. Okay, Batman. The
Brighter the light, the darker the shadows. Where are the drugs going?
As you're listening, though, you do hear bits of conversations. Says, I plan to secure my lord's favor once the judges return. I do hear that Magister Tomas is very particular about the shipments he's received lately and the exorbitant fees he's been receiving from the tithes from some of the unfortunate outcomes of the war. And I'm hoping through striking a better bargain, maybe give some extra favor towards Lord Leos's performance today, and some of the other, and he kind of like that trails off, and then you'll hear some other conversations. There's like a lot of plotting going on to maybe exchanging favors or providing information or blackmail towards helping the
This just
securing
sounds like
favor.
pork belly bills in the legislature, is what this kind of sounds like
It
now.
kind of like there's so much. It is much more than you gather here is so much more than just a magical tournament. This is a political like joust that is going on right now. So that kind of gives you a good idea of what people are planning. And you get the impression, essentially, the way that this will work, and from the impression you're getting picking up from the rest of the attendees here, is that between the rounds, the two of the judges, the magisters, will return, and people will use that opportunity to work them to their advantage. Not saying that's the only thing that you can do here, but that is sort of that's the standard.
I pull on Yasmera's sleeve a little bit. This dress
What?
doesn't have sleeves. I just tap you.
No.
How easy would it be for us to tell which entourage is with which competitor?
That's an interesting point.
I mean, do they have some kind of matching crest on them, maybe?
Because I
Or
pulled
some
Garas
kind
in.
of-
Do you want to do some pranks?
Oh, yes, we can always do pranks.
How embarrassing would it be for your entourage to publicly embarrass you in the stands
Oh,
while you're trying to compete?
I think it would be such a farce and a smack in the face if that ever happened.
You can't even keep your closest people in check?
Oh, no.
Embarrassing. A
Embarrassing.
disgrace, really. Hey, can you tell whose entourage is who?
Can I tell whose entourage is who?
I will say you can pick up bits and pieces, but your best way is going to be gauging reactions once this first round commences, because it'll be pretty easy to tell who's rooting for who once that gets started.
Garrus,
So-
this is like prank con.
This is going to be our finest hours.
And this is
You
exactly what I
both-
expected from most of you.
You do both realize that if you pull a prank pretending to be part of someone else's entourage, they can very easily say, "Who the fuck are you?" and then point you out into our entourage.
I'm not going to pretend to be anybody. I'm going to
We're
be
just-
like the fucking night.
And I am the wind.
They won't see
Lord,
us
not this
coming.
again.
I am the night, and he is the wind, and they will feel his brush on their cheek before they feel my shadows envelop them and their careers are over.
See, no one asked about the second part of that. You always just roll your eyes after we say it.
It's good.
It's
It's
the whole
good.
thing. You got to listen to the full thing.
It's great. Don't get fucking caught.
That's our whole job.
It's kind of why, we are here,
We are a trio right now. The bottom of the pyramid supporting our point, which is Carter. You are going to tell us who is who, and we are going to make them fucking embarrass their competitors.
While also attempting to aid Carter.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to alternate. One is going to probably aid Carter. One is going to aid Carter. The other one will embarrass.
Yeah, we're going to take turns. Like we always do.
Mhm.
And you are our
Alright.
eyes in the fucking sky.
Yes, I know, I'm tall.
It's a compliment.
It's more like you're not just the eyes in the sky. You're the eyes in the ever-concealing shadows.
You create the shadows, we just walk in them.
Flattery gets you nowhere. Alright.
She's lying.
I know. We flatter her all the time. That's what she gets. That's what she does everything.
That's why her head is up so high.
Yes.
What do you want to do?
When this first round starts, whoever Carter is competing against, I want you to point out their entourage.
Fine.
We'll help Carter, and one of us will make things a little embarrassing for them. How sad it would be if the Magister saw them doing something terrible.
Oh.
For every prank you pull, I need the assistance of one of you to do some actual intrigue.
Pranks are intrigue.
It's total
In-
intrigue.
Political intrigue.
Okay,
Like
fine.
embarrassing yourself in front of the most important people in the country is an intrigue.
Okay, then. How would you suggest some political intrigue?
I could wear a fancy hat while I'm doing it.
Is talking about wanting to make some ties a little easier on Tomas over there. So, maybe they hear that there might be something else shady going on, and that's a ruse.
Okay, I like it.
That is a good idea.
Prank, intrigue. Prank, intrigue.
Yeah, we're
Intrigue.
going to switch off.
Yeah.
Hi.
You feed us the details, we'll do the rest.
It's not a bad idea.
She's agreeing with that idea, man.
It's a
I
good
did not
idea.
say it was a
It's
good
good
idea. I
idea.
said it wasn't bad.
I really want to watch a prequel episode. Like if I ever have a scheduling conflict, I want to see the first adventure, the prequel episodes of Garas and Venehn.
How
and
the
they
fuck these
got
motherfuckers
Yasmera.
actually met at one
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Yep. The pre-Carter episode.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's do
the
this.
music has started.
There is
I have
a
to go.
low horn that sounds just.
The
That-
beacons are lit! Gondor calls for aid!
Yeah. Jesus. That sounds to the arena, and you hear this like again throughout the this the roaring of the crowd as people begin to cheer, and you watch everybody moves to the edge, to the outside of the viewing platform to see as throughout the arena suddenly these like arcane fireworks begin to go off at each of the corners, and this like spiraling of magic up through the skylight in the roof, and you can see down at the tournament grounds as the contestants, including Carter, are walked in. And Carter, you have exited out of this darkened tunnel amidst the swelling crowd around you as you are lined up in a row, sort of like gladiator style, to view the Archon, the viewing platform where the Archon will sit. And as you are standing there, the announcements begin. And you can see to the great applause and roaring of the crowd as they are announced. The judges come to stand on the outside, on the edge of the uppermost viewing platform. Everyone standing on the lower platform turns to look up, and you see the Magister Tomas and Magister Acanus, each flanked by their side of Archon Therius, a very gaunt, very old-looking gentleman with very pale features that are like accentuated by the very dark red robe that he is wearing, and he raises a beringed or bejeweled hand up to the crowd before taking his seat, and the attendants that are with you, Carter, announce the first competition as you take your seats on the outskirts of the there are seats lined up on either side of the proving area on both of these like sectioned off platforms, as you are here, and your competition will be on the other side. And you can see sitting a few seats down from you is Reyes, who, as he sits, gives a nod to you before taking a very casual posture in his chair. There are little tables that are set next to you that where water or wine is provided to you as you watch. A lot of the contestants are foregoing any alcohol and only imbibing water for the competition. There are a few that are drinking some wine to probably clear some nerves. I assume Carter is probably abstaining from drinking. And the competition begins. You, as the first competitors take to the stage, you watch as they walk up gracefully up onto these raised platforms that stand on either side of that trough of water that cuts through the center, and each wait in turn for the horns to sound, and you watch as this magical duel commences between the two of them on these elevated stances. Fire and electricity and a weaving of spells in the air. There is as much beauty to it as there is danger as you watch one of the lords sort of knocked back, almost stepping backward off the pedestal, as the magic swell around him. The crowd roaring in response as he almost falls, then turning and gathering the energy in the air and flinging it back at his competitor. And the two elements weaving together and forming a column between them in a massive explosion. And by the end of the contest, you watch one of them badly singe like the outskirts of his mantle, of the cowl that he wears, a bit in flames. The other one, who had stumbled before, wreathed in lightning and holding his hands in as he swells and contains the power that he had just unleashed. And they both stop as the horns sound and look back up to the platform, and you see the three judges conferring as one leans in towards the Archon and then the other, and then the Archon stands, and lowers one hand subtly towards the mage on the right as the lightning courses and fades underneath him, who is announced the victor to another swell of the crowd, and the two take to the seats with one leaving the stage. And there's roars and bout after bout after bout begin. And
Who's cheering for that winner?
people, you see them. Yeah, I don't have names. I don't
I'm
names
just,
for everyone
just
here.
Make sure that's
I did
where
not
we're at.
na-
It's like, all right,
yeah.
that one, they're
Yes,
with them.
you
All right,
clock,
that one's with that
you
one.
clock who you also know who Carter is going to be going up against first. You know who Carter will, based on the victors, you can gauge who Carter will probably be going up against next, because like the pairings have already been announced. So the as the contestants continue, you see one of them sort of handily dispatched. They're like knocking him from the platform, forcing him to retire. Who's announced as the victor, Lord Leos, who will be Carter's next challenger should he prevail. You also see, as before Carter goes up, Reyes Iteli steps to the platform and is announced to a competitor standing across from a younger mage, who looks very has a very like stern disposition and looks like very focused on the bout. And as Reyes gives a very kind of soft smile and nodding to his challenger, the other mage sort of scoffs at this and looks up towards the platform, waiting for the bout to be announced. And as these horns sound once again, announcing the duel to begin, you see the mage standing across from Reyes begin to call sort of this tempest of ice in front of him, and flinging it out, like hitting him with everything he has from the get-go. As this blast of ice sort of rocks around Reyes, who simply holds up a hand, and you can see the ice sort of bending around him to the force of a barrier that he erects in interposes just faintly between him and the other mage. And you can see this younger mage continues to throw spell after spell after spell at Reyes, who just doesn't make any offensive attacks of his own, just masterfully doing the bare minimum he needs to deflect his magical his opponent's powers. And as this mage, you can see the sweat beading off his brow, and as he steps forward against the pavilion, taking 1, 2, 3 steps right up to the edge, continuing to throw everything he has at Reyes. At the last second, as Reyes has taken just but 1 step back, he flings his hand to the left, sending that barrier rocketing up towards the roof of the stadium, carrying the magic with it. And then just with the flick of his wrist, you watch as there is a like a swirling of air and a bit of a current that wraps around the opponent and just pulls him forward off of the edge, losing his balance and splashing into the pool.
He's super powerful.
Oh no, he's really good, y'all.
He doesn't give a fuck.
You see Reyes, having exerted almost no effort in that moment, turns and gives a nod towards the judging platform, who, without even reviewing with the Archon steps up and announces Reyes the victor, who steps calmly back down to his seat.
What does Reyes feel when he's announced victor?
Apathy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a cool, calm
This
expectation.
man is trying to fucking overthrow the Archon or something. There's some shit going on here.
Probably.
There's some real shit going on here.
Assassination attempts.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, as you were reading Reyes' mind, again, you're catching a lot of, because I'll give this to Card, because I imagine you're picking up some of this, maybe consciously, maybe subconsciously. Everybody is like intense, like fear and excitement and adrenaline, and Reyes has that like calm, steady, like pulsing heartbeat of somebody who has probably done this a 1,000
sociopath?
times.
Sorry.
Not even that. Like, you get emotion from Reyes, but it is just that you catch the emotional fortitude of somebody who has seen so much worse than this, where this is nothing.
Well, and up to this point, most of his feelings have been like, I fucking hate these people. Like,
The announcement is given. And Carter, it is your turn to take to the pedestal. How does Carter present himself and carry himself up to the stage?
Very calmly, hands clasped behind his back, stepping forward, looking out across the crowd. Do I see the incantatrix?
Interesting. You look. Yeah, so you step up and like I said, there's that viewing platform there, and most of it is like the common like masses and crowds, like the soporati who are gathered here to view it, Laytons as well, common folk, the middle and lower classes, the lower edge. But there is like a sections more like box seating around the edges too, other than the viewing platform. And I will say, because Carter, you've drawn your attention to her, you've seen her, and you look up towards one of the boxes and you just catch a flint of this like cerulean blue, this beautiful like fleck of like a gemstone amidst sort of the drab blacks and the other like dull like monotone colors, and you see the incantatrix.
I'll bow to her, and then I'll go back to my stiff posture and give a nod to my opponent.
You see the mage standing across from you, a gentleman probably not too far from your own age, gives a respectful nod back to you, and looks up towards the viewing box and waiting for the Archon's announcement. And those of you on the booth, the platform below, kind of like looking up in anticipation, waiting for this battle to start. And Venehn, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
She's here.
And you turn, and you see a servant standing behind you, with a nervous look on their face as they say, my lady.
Yes, my dear.
I returned back as fast as I can. I could not find the wagons you spoke of.
Oh man, they stole our explosives. Oh, they stole our explosives. Oh, they stole our explosives.
Are you sure you sent me to the right place?
I'm positive.
I can go search again.
No. Thank you for bringing me this news. Return back to your station. I do not wish for you to get in trouble.
Of course. Again, my apologies.
No. Thank you.
They sort of like nervous here and fully expecting to get like yelled at in that moment. They return quickly to the other side of the room.
I'm looking over Yas.
What?
The wagon's gone. One of
Her
us needs to
eyes
go right now.
Flash over to those three motherfuckers.
You see the three sitting at the edge of the platform at their seats, viewing over the spectacle, conversing amongst themselves, and one of them looks up, who you have not caught her name yet. She has sort of like shaved side of her head, long hair, and has a mischievous smile on her face as she looks up, catches eyes with you, Yas, and gives a wink. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
No.
That's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
You would know
Shoot
everything
that.
about Orlesian wine. I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid. You would
That
know
was
about
the track.
Orlesian
We didn't
wine.
see
That
it.
was
We
the
didn't
news.
see it in the night.
We didn't see them in the
As the best
Told last
tracker, I
night.
think, Venehn
Yeah.
might be leaving the party for a while.
That is your choice. That would leave your friend Carter at a disadvantage, but you may be able to hold out.
Honestly, Yas and Garas are probably going to be able to help him better than I can.
As your call, but we will decide that next week, because that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Intrigue,
You're not
drama,
the boss
I love
of
it.
me.
You're not.
You all find yourself in one of the balconies.
Oh boy, love good stealth rolls and bad perception checks. Not bad, middling perception checks.
You mean normal perception checks?
Normal perception checks, just really good stealth rolls. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna end for our session for tonight.
The music is still pretty frightening.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the music. I needed
No,
some
it
drama.
fits my fucking feelings right now.
You know what fits
Oh,
my
boy.
feelings right now?
Hmm.
Gun fingers.
Juicy.
Can we get a little taste of gun fingers?
I don't have gun fingers on this place, and gun fingers is more intense than that one.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it.
Fine, I'll give you.
It's
gun
my
fingers.
I mean, I can do it. The stream will hear whatever I want them to hear.
There you go. Here's gun fingers.
Here you go, stream.
All right. That is it. Let's go ahead and do our stars and wishes for tonight. Van, you want to kick us off?
Yes. Sorry, I'm turning down gun fingers. My star is going to go to Garas. Because there was no preparation for the going to the guards to turn them in bit. There was nothing. There was about 2 sentences exchanged. And that shit went off without a hitch. And I gotta give a lot of credit to a scene partner who reads where you're going and goes along for the ride. So yeah, that was just really fun to do. And it was awesome. It was fun. It's a real fun bit of back and forth role play. And I loved it. My wish is I have so many. I'm trying to like spread them out over several sessions. I want I want, because I think they've already had a moment of like clocking each other and kind of what they're about. I want the opportunity for Venehn and Brila to have a moment of realness. Because I think from afar right now, they think they understand each other.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
We used to call it sex back in our days.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
After I tell you about my world, you see, dragons can transform into humans.
Yeah, we can't talk about dragons and Transformers. But no, I think Venehn thinks he knows what she's about, and from their just fucking like brazen actions over the last day or so, I think she thinks she understands exactly what he's about. And I would love for this moment of like, now hold on, like, these are real people you're dealing with, and they might not be what you expect. So
I think we can do that. Love it. Thank you, Van.
we're gonna move away from gun fingers now.
Okay, you want me to put on something else?
I mean, I can do it.
I got it. I'll just go back to our normal. All right. Sid.
Stars gotta go to Carter for. This was Carter's episode. I mean, just Carter in the dream, kicking ass. Carter's, everything Carter did this episode. Quite honestly, yes, I love sassy Carter. I'm here for sassy Carter. Just nom 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 nom, delicious, wonderful. My wish is to murder these fucks. We're going to kill them. That's my
Okay.
wish. Thank you.
All right. We shall see. Thank you, Sid. Wally.
My star goes to Yaz because it's also kind of going on what Sita said. You always have those moments with like this is also definitely going. My star definitely goes to Ven for this specific scene too. like you always wonder, how did these three know? Because there should be no logical reason why they should be together, or there's like no logical reason why they work so well together. But it was just that scene. You see why they work so well together. Like you see how their personalities like react to each other, and how they actually have a very solid friendship with each other. And that was just a scene that just really made me very happy, seeing those three interact with each other. It just makes me wonder, like, yeah, how the heck did these three become like such good friends and crime partners? So that's my star goes to you two for that. My wish, I know I said I wanted Garas to fight the scarred dude, but I just want Garas to have an encounter with who you think is Garrus's counterpart in this crew. That's what I want.
So instead of taking the ink blot test yourself, you're asking Val to
Yep,
take
that's
it
what I'm
on
doing.
your behalf.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, I've already got already. Y'all aren't prepared for the
'Cause
shit that I've got, baby.
And
Yeah,
Garas
I
went
am
down and
so
whispered,
ready. You think you're locked up? You think I'm locked up in here with you?
I'm giving y'all everything you wished for. I just want you to remember that at the end of the
Look,
day.
like I said, I monkey's paw, and I am totally ready for whatever, outcome comes from it.
I don't. I want to take everything back. I regret everything.
The city is afraid of me. I've seen its true face.
Do it! Just do it!
Oh boy. Sita?
Yeah. I'm gonna give mine to Venehn. The quick thinking, well played, go check the cart, but keep yourself in place, and handling that just expertly and quickly. Like in my head, as soon as they were like, "What do you want me to do?" And I'm like, "Grease the palm, grease the palm, grease the palm." It's wonderfully handled, and a pivotal piece of knowledge that we could have been left without. So, fuck yeah.
Yeah, with the checking, I'll interrupt on one thing. Like the checking the cart thing, I had the 3 outcomes as y'all check it before the competition, and I had no idea what you were going to do if you found out before it started. Checking during, which was honestly my ideal scenario, figuring out during, figuring out after, which would have also led to some very interesting stuff. So, but I think
like being exploded.
you don't.
We'll handle
they
it.
took it.
Maybe they just like wine.
We'll be
I
fine.
don't know.
We'll be fine.
My wish, I gotta have 2, because for real, one of these days when I'm absent, y'all gotta do a prequel episode. I'd watch the shit out of that. But also, sorry, Sid, I really like these guys. I want them to live.
I want them to die.
I want them to
I
haunt
wanna
us
turn them
for
to our
months after
cause.
this.
If
I
you can
want
turn
them
them
to
to our
be.
cause, Yaz will not kill them.
It's because
I want
it's
them to
because
be
this
doing
dude-
shit, and we're doing shit, and sometimes we're against each other, and maybe our goals align for a minute, and there's like a tense alliance.
I will
Like,
go along with
we can
Sita's
kill them,
wish.
but I want them to be dead like months from now. I don't want them to die in Minrathous.
I don't
I
want them
can
to
wait.
die at all. I'm gonna go along with
I can
Sita's wish
wait.
because I want them to
I'm
keep crossing paths with
patient.
us because I'm gonna romance every single fucking one of them. You have my word.
Like I am
Okay,
going.
if you want to enemies to lovers and then back to enemies them, as long as they die at the end, I don't care.
No.
I just want the moment when
Sid's
when
bloodlust is
you're
coming
reading
out.
like a shonen manga, right? And after we beat like these villains, then turns around, we need some help. All of a sudden they show up and you're like, why the hell are you here? And it's like, we owed you this one. And then we have people backing us up in a fight kind of.
Yeah, man. Or
Mhm.
like, what's a greater threat to everything than the fucking blight? You know, like that shit coming down. That might force our motivation.
And
or
then they
our
can die
goals along.
gruesome and then they can die gruesomely in the battle, Sid.
They don't have to die.
Yes, they do.
They're really cool though.
Reyes is really cool.
I'm gonna fuck at least 2 of them.
That's fine. As long as they die by the end of it, I'm fine.
Fuck them to death.
No, I can't do that. I'm so little.
Yes, by snoo.
I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little guy.
Yeah, I'm.
Everybody wants to fuck. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, sad.
With them legs, they do.
Sid's wish is probably the only one that I don't know if I can. That's up to y'all. I can't guarantee that.
I think it's up to Sid at this point. We all want to
It's
keep
really
him
up to
around.
Sid. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sid's gonna kill them, and then everybody's gonna hate Sid.
No one could ever hate Sid. It's impossible.
It's impossible to hate Sid.
My star goes to all.
Kill them. See what happens.
I'll still like you.
My star goes to all of you for just falling into my web, and I'm so happy.
I don't think we
It's
fell
about
into
time
it.
we've been kicking your butt for.
It's more
30
like we made.
episodes now.
It's not like we didn't fall into the web. It's like we made a trap and then we turned around like, ooh, a piece of candy,
and then we
right
walked into
the
our
trap.
own trap. Yes.
Y'all built a trap and then walked into it. I
Yeah.
just stood on the side like I'm taking credit for that.
We knew it though, deep down.
No, but really, y'all came up with an awesome idea, and I have done stuff with it that will be revealed throughout the court. But it was an awesome idea that y'all came up with. Stars to you, that I think is going to make the rest of this campaign very interesting.
Because it was going to be super boring before. So
Yeah, it was just terrible. Yeah, there was a moment in time preparing for this, for the Minrathis side, where I was like, "This is gonna be like one session. We'll get through Minrathis, and we'll go." Now, this is probably the next like 2 or 3 sessions, because we've got a lot to do
I
here.
love
Um,
Rivals. It's my favorite thing.
It.
Yeah,
It's my
it's good.
favorite thing. Yes.
So this
I
mission
love
is gonna get
killing
pretty
rivals.
buck wild.
I
Loved
this
verbal
shit.
sparring
This
with
is my
Reyes,
favorite.
man. That was
It was
fun.
good.
I want more
It was
of that.
good.
Yeah. Third wish. More of that.
I'm gonna cut us off here because we're over time. But thank you, everyone out there, for watching. Like I said before, we're back in 1 week to continue our shenanigans. Thank you to my lovely players for being as awesome as
Thank you
possible.
for the game.
Join us, I guess, like we said at the top of the
Say
stream.
thanks to
there-
chat.
Thank you to chat.
We were chatty
Thanks,
tonight,
chat.
and we
Thank
love
you,
that
chat.
shit.
Nice.
It's not Joe Biden.
Talk to us. We love it.
We will maybe have a stream tomorrow. Not sure. Still up in the air. Join our Discord and you can see everything. We'll give
We'll announce
announcements
it either
for
way.
what's going to be going on. But definitely join us for Thursday for the next session of Elegance and Vigilance. We're playing our vigilante, crime fighting, Renaissance, or not Renaissance, Regency era heroes in a good society D&D mashup.
Would
So
you like to see me and Wally play basically the polar opposites
the
of what we
opposite of your
did today?
character? Yeah, basically.
Join us.
Basically, it's like Cena said. It's like a fan fiction that Garas and Ben wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it. Thanks all around. Join us in 1 week. Until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
They're gonna die.